Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unleashing Potentials podcast. So, joining me today is Daniel Jackson. Daniel, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Bernadette. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, you were telling me that you're in Arizona.
Yes, Lower Arizona. I'm down here by Tombstone, Arizona. I'm about 15 miles. That's about 15 miles northeast of me. Yeah. So, but I go there a lot. But it's a cool little town. I mean, just like any town, it's haunted type of area. But that's pretty haunted itself.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And has it been really hot there?
It's been 100 for a month.
Oh, okay, okay.
No
Yeah.
humidity. There's no humidity here, but when that sun is beating down on you, like I was riding yesterday with some friends, ride motorcycles, and it it wears on you. You
Yeah,
can
that
feel
does
it.
sound really warm.
Yeah, yeah. It's been 100 for a month now. We have something called monsoon season where it starts in June and it just rains like each day for like
Mhm.
maybe an hour or something like that, and then it
Oh,
goes away.
wow.
But because where I live, there's no high rise buildings in the area where I live. It's just
Mhm.
homes, and they're kind of square looking homes, and then just desert everywhere. And you can see a storm from 50, 100 miles away just coming at you. So
Oh,
when you
wow.
see it, you can see where it's coming, heading to. When it gets pretty close, you just tell yourself, "Oh, if I take a left-hand turn and go that way, I'll avoid it." So you do.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm just hooking up my speaker. I realized that I needed to be hooked. So, Danielle, can you tell us more about you, what you do, and what you're passionate about?
Well, what I do is I refer to myself as a spirit medium. I don't call myself psychic, although I do get psychic messages, but I don't call myself that.
Okay.
Um, and what I do is I do readings for people, but uh, I try to teach as well, teach about the the the, the truth about spirituality. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo in this business, and I hate to call it a business, but it is.
Mm.
But there's a lot of things that are just untrue, and there's a lot of things that some of these other, famous mediums are telling people that is also untrue. They find out one thing and they think that because they read it in a book that this is the way it is, and then everyone does that thing where they go along to get along, and I don't do that. I'm not the
Mhm.
unicorns and rainbow type of medium. I'm not walking around going, "Okay, everybody, love and light," and all that stuff, because the world is not love and light. The world is hard to get through, and so
Mhm.
I try to give people the truth. And I do what's called angel readings, and the reason I call it that is because everyone has spirit guides in this world, but mine are archangels. And the people who will tell you out there, "Oh, my grandmother is an angel now," that's yeah, it's one of these untruths. You
Mhm.
you have archangels with you for one reason, because you are helping masses of people, not just individuals. You don't need an angel with you to go get a cup of coffee. So, and that's what I try to clear up for people, to so they can understand what's really going on in this world and in this place. And I've been doing it for about 6 years now. I didn't know I was a medium until 6 years ago, but I've seen spirit ever since I was about 3 years old. So, and then
Mhm.
I wrote a book about it, and the book's called "The New Beginning: My Awakening as a Spirit Medium." And it just it I wrote everything down in chronological order of everything that happened to me throughout my life, but for me.
Mhm.
And then at the end, there's 25 channeled messages from my guides, archangels, essentially from God, that what they want us to do and how to treat each other in this world. And that's another thing that I'm passionate about, is trying to get people on the correct path of treating each other with kindness and respect and love.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that sounds really amazing. I'm definitely into that kind of stuff, and it wasn't always that way. But I want to focus a bit on you to go back to when you first started to experience the spiritual world.
uh, well, excuse me. My whole family, we lived in this little town in New Jersey, and there was a battlefield in the town where the Hessians fought, and it had a little hospital on it. So my whole family was seeing them as well, but some of the other families in that area were also seeing them. To like one time, my sister was getting ready for school, and my mom was helping her in the bathroom do her hair, and they stood in front of our this one door in the bathroom was had a full length mirror on it. When they stood in front of it, there was another woman standing in the mirror with in a colonial outfit.
Mm,
There was a time. I mean, there was many things that went on all the time, but some of the bigger ones were my brothers and I were downstairs watching TV, and up in my sister's room, her record player turned on. But back in that day, this was in the '70s, you had to pick a record up and put it on the post and then hit a switch and it would drop the record. Well,
mhm,
we were used to that, but what it did at this moment was it was switching records. So
mm,
it would take a record off and put another one on. So these types of events occurred a lot. And so much so that you get used to it after a while. But it wasn't anything harmful or anything what someone would describe as evil. It was just happening.
mhm,
And because these are beings that are in another realm that we cannot always see, um, you just it's just going to happen whether you like it or not.
mhm,
Um, but we see them. I see them. I see them a whole heck of a lot more now, but I see them.
mhm,
And it just eventually progressed throughout my entire life, and it just got to be more and more. And then, like with seeing them all the time, I always explain it in this way that you remember when we were kids and our mom and dad fed us green beans, and then 30 years later, you love green beans. Why? Because you get used to it.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
So yeah, it just happened to me throughout my entire life up until the point when I was about to turn 50 years old, and my wife went away on vacation for 2 weeks to see her daughter in California, and for those 2 weeks, I saw everything you could ever think of that was in a horror movie happening in my house,
oh,
and it was after that that I just I wanted to figure it out
mhm,
because I was seeing a whole lot more than I normally had, and I wanted to figure it out, and I want because I mean, some people would the types of things I saw, you would scream and run out of your house, but where was I gonna go?
mm,
So, because it wasn't just the home that I was seeing things in, I would see things everywhere, so, instead of running away from it, I decided to pursue it and
mhm,
see why this was happening, why it was happening to me so much.
mhm. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I used to see lots of things too. Um, Growing up and being born in Haiti, with so many different religions, but the
Sure,
first person I saw was my grandfather. I was very young. I don't know how old I was, but I saw him and then I turned. He was still there. I turned and he was gone. And I just had a knowing that it was him. I don't know how. I just,
right,
um,
because he
yeah.
because he put that in you, because he connected with your soul to let you know, this
Mm,
is this is
yeah.
who it is.
Yeah. And I remember it up to this day. It has never left my memory or my mind. It was a way of me to know that he existed because he
Correct.
went to pass when I was very, very young.
Right, we have these same types of, memories all the time
Mm,
because of something we call trauma, but is it trauma? It's just an event that happened that was embedded into you.
mhm. Yes, it was because I never forget it, and I think of
No?
it every day and all the time, and I think he's with me as well. I may
Yeah,
not see him.
you're not meant to forget it.
Yeah.
Let me find out. Yeah, actually, he is with you. So I just asked if he was with you, and I got touched on my face. Above on my forehead, this is yes, and then I get, one down the side of my eye, and that's no. It feels like a tear running down my face. So, yeah, he's
So,
with you, but for a different reason. But we can talk
oh,
about that whenever you feel like it.
yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
just know why.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, but
And then yeah.
I'm super duper connected. They tell me things, and they tell me things so much now that it becomes my own thought.
Oh,
Because when
wow.
yeah, when things would come in the very beginning of me doing this, it was only like 5% of the time something would come in. Now
Mhm,
it's 85%. So the other 15% is me. The
mhm.
other 85% is them.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's always progressing. It's always changing. And
Mhm,
I
mhm,
actually remember the time that it was maybe about 6, 8 months ago when it went from 80%, 80 to 85%. My
mhm.
wife and I were in the middle of something, and then I just it started coming through, and I felt we both kind of felt that it looked like I was having a stroke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's very powerful. Well, it's coming from
Yeah.
archangels, it's coming from
Yeah, it
God.
is. Yeah, yeah. Um, I recently started going through a spiritual awakening, and I've always have fear, as you can sense already experience, and it's
Sure,
due to what I've experienced in Haiti, and then when I came here, because I used to have sleep paralysis, and
not
obviously
really.
I'm
They call
diagnosed.
it sleep paralysis. That's not what it is. You're having an experience at that moment,
Is that
a
what it is?
spiritual experience.
Oh, why
They
was it?
call it they call it sleep paralysis. They give it lots of other names
Yeah.
because they don't want us to know what it really is. The world doesn't want us to know how much control and power we have over ourselves because they want to remain in control and power over us.
Mm, mm.
Like deja vu. Deja vu is actually a memory from your soul of a place that you had been at one time before.
Okay, I have those all the time.
Yeah, they
All
are
the time.
memories.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us what are archangels and then guides? What are guides and archangels?
Spirit guides are people who have crossed over, who have fulfilled their purpose and request to come back. And that's what our life is about. It's about learning lessons and fulfilling a purpose.
Mhm,
But your purpose isn't becoming a doctor or a lawyer. Your purpose is we're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not because you can, but because you should. This is what we are meant to do here. That's why we are here. It's the bane of our existence for being here to help each other. But we just don't seem to do that very well. But
mhm,
these ones who cross over, who have fulfilled their purpose, when you go back home, what we would call heaven, it's just another realm. When you go back home, because that's what it is, because this isn't home, you become a bright, white, loving soul again. And
mhm,
and when you do that, we like to do good things. And doing good things is coming back here to help others. Because again, that's what we're here to do here is help others.
mhm,
So sometimes they're just regular people who, again, have fulfilled their purpose, and sometimes relatives come through, but more or less in the big picture of things, we all come from the same family, the soul family, so we are all related to each other. When you get back home to heaven, oh, people always ask, "Am I going to see my mom and dad?" Well, you see more than that. You don't just see the 2 or 300 people you met here. You
mhm,
know everybody, and
mhm,
everybody knows you. And they also call you by all your names that they have met you within being in your past lives. And
mhm,
then they also call you your real name, which is more of a sound vibrational thing. We can't really pronounce it because we have a voice box, and they don't communicate with voice boxes. They communicate by thought. But so that's what spirit guides are.
mhm,
Archangels is something way higher. The hierarchy of it is God, archangels, what archangels call lesser angels because they have less responsibility. And
mhm,
then they have spirit guides and they have regular spirit. And then they have us because we are a soul, a spirit within this body. And
mhm,
then you have lower energy spirit who are in this lower energy realm.
mhm.
Archangels do not look like men with wings. They don't have shields and swords.
No, they don't.
They may put themselves out there to you like that so that you will not be scared of what they actually look like.
Mhm,
I see them for what they actually look like because of the connection that I have with them. Because when I say I have archangels with me, I don't mean the 10 or 12 or 14 they mention in the Bible. I
mm,
have all of them with me. I get touched on my face for yes and no answers. On my forehead and around my head is yes, but one answer for no. In the very beginning, it was 2, now it's
mm.
46, and I
Oh,
know the names of everyone that's touching me at that time. I still get other touches as well. I don't know their names, but it's because I cannot pronounce their names, because the names that we know them by are just the names that are descriptive, that we can recognize them by, just like our names here. But
Mhm.
their real names are more of a sound vibrational. It's more like a "ooh" type thing.
Oh,
We
wow.
just can't put that out there. So
Mhm.
we couldn't be able to put that out there correctly every single time.
Oh,
So, but what I see when I see archangels, I see 8-foot praying mantises standing in my room. That's what I see. I see Archangel Michael does not look like a man with a shield, and he's not glowing purple. He's actually glowing kind of red.
oh,
He has
yeah.
almost like wolf eyes and a wider head, and he's got these big floppy ears and this long body. It looks like a horse with short hair on it. So that's what Archangel Michael looks like. Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Menadil, Azrael, Mazikeen, Michael, Paul, Jacob, Daniel, Laziel. These other ones, they look like praying mantises. Some of them look like birds. Some of them look
Yeah.
um, like a almost like a lizard. Some of them are just
Mhm.
not humanoid, nor are they human at all. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this is who
I
they
believe
are.
you.
They're just beings of a higher consciousness that no longer need a body and are here to help us
Mhm, mhm.
because we are family to all of them. There's this unfortunate another thing within this business that's just people like to talk about. There are no ascended masters. They're just not,
Mhm,
because they don't call themselves masters,
mhm,
because we use the sense of master as someone who is more powerful than someone else.
mhm,
They do not go on the belief of I am more powerful than you,
mm.
because within the saying, all is one is all. Then why would one be more powerful than the other? They
Yeah,
just know
yeah.
more. They're just able to know more, able to do more. That is all, because of where they've been for such a long time.
Mhm,
That is it.
mhm. Yeah.
There's so much untruths in this. The same thing with like people say, "Oh, if I take sage, I can burn it, and I can make these negative energies go away." That's not the truth. They're
Mm,
in a realm where they don't have a body anymore. They don't have lungs, and they don't smell or breathe. So
mhm.
the only thing that you're doing is when you're setting that thing on fire is you're going to set off your fire alarms. That's it. If
Yeah,
this were not the truth, then why haven't all the forest fires in the world made all the negative energies go away? Because you can't. You
yeah.
can't go into someone's house and just clear it out and say, okay, there's no more negative energies in here,
Mhm,
because they're in a realm where they're everywhere all the time. The only thing that you can do is put positive energy out. It's like two magnets. They don't want to hold the same space. So
mhm,
as long as you're putting the intent out there and good positive energy out there, that will keep them away. But
mm.
we still have to live our lives, and our lives, unfortunately, here are filled with drama, and
Yeah.
drama is negative energy.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I believe you. I remember seeing a angel that came to visit me. It was very recent in my spiritual awakening. It looked like a bat and it was going up a funnel.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Well, I think to give me strength or support me in my journey.
Yes, because you're meant for something else.
Oh, yeah, it showed up as a bat. I asked my friend, she said it's Archangel Uriel.
No,
Oh, do you
it
know?
may have showed up like a bat to you,
Yeah.
but that's not what it looks like.
Oh,
That was just a way of putting things so that you could understand it.
okay, okay.
So you went up a funnel because a funnel is not very big, and because you went up going up the funnel, you're going to be something more than just the regular type of
Mm.
circus sideshow medium. You're not meant for that.
Oh, okay, okay.
There
Wow.
are some of us are meant to be teachers.
Mhm.
Others are just meant to be students.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
You're
really
meant you're
cool.
meant for more than just being a student or being one of these sideshow circus acts. You're not meant for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So to get the ones who need to be where they need to be, you're going. It's basically telling you you're in a much smaller space than everyone else is, but that smaller space is meant for something more.
Mhm, mhm, yeah. Um, can archangels or angels, show up in human forms?
No. That
Okay, yeah.
the not unless they are actually coming back here
Oh.
in order t so I if they may show so if you're asking the question, if they show themselves to you as a human, that would be something, but in order for them to be here, they would have to be in a human body again. And
Oh,
that does not happen very often.
okay, okay. Because 'cause I've heard separate stories that they show up to rescue people in human form and disappearing or leaving.
No,
Oh, okay,
they're
okay.
not here to rescue anyone. You are here to meant to live your life.
Mm,
If it is your time to go, it's your time to go.
yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Mhm,
They
mhm,
may manipulate the situation for you to because someone else made a decision
mhm,
that they should have made,
mhm.
and you got involved in it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but they're not just gonna come down and save every single little person because there's one thing that I do know from them that it doesn't make a difference if you fall off the top of a building or get hit by a car or even get COVID or even have, suicide. When
Mm,
it's your time to go, it just is, that's it, and there's one thing that we all have in common with everyone. Eventually, you will die, and
mm,
if you need to be brought back, they'll bring you back because no one lives to be 150 years old. At that point, it's gonna hurt to pee, and who wants to be here for that?
mhm, mhm,
But you can just be brought back.
mhm,
You don't just die and then that's it. We come back many, many times.
mhm.
Um, you're on life number 28. I just asked that fast. So I asked them, "How many times have you been here?" They told me 28. I said in my mind, "Did you say 28?" And then they touched me in my face.
Oh,
That
me, I've
that
been here
fast.
28 times?
You've been here 28 times.
That's
Yeah.
miserable. No wonder I have mental health issues.
Well, no, not really. So there's another misconception too that you bring a lot of pain and trauma and all that stuff with you back every time. No, that doesn't take place. When you leave here and you go home, once you walk into that light, you are washed away of
Wow.
everything, and you go back to being a white light loving soul. When you come back into another body, you don't bring that stuff back with you. You're here to learn new lessons.
Mhm, mhm,
You're here to live a new life.
mhm,
That's why they bring you back to you get your slate erased and you come back into a new life.
mhm,
So no, they're not just running around going, "Oh, we gotta save this person, we gotta save that person." Why? Because everybody dies. You
mm,
just do.
mhm, mhm,
But you're also brought back as well. Yeah, you've been here 28 times. You've had 27 other lifetimes, meaning you've had 27 other sets of moms and dads, brothers and sisters, dogs and cats. Oh, and 27 other astrological signs that mean absolutely nothing
mm.
because your body is born under the stars. Your soul is not.
Wow,
People
interesting.
don't realize that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they just they don't get.
Mm.
The whole soulmate, or now they've rebranded it, call it twin flame. No,
I don't get either of those.
people think
No.
that a soulmate is someone you're going to fall in love with. That's not the truth.
Mm,
TV and movies want you to believe in that so you can pay somebody $500 to find out that answer. It's not the truth. The
mhm,
truth is, a soulmate is someone who back home you are a very good friend there as well. You stick together there. You
mhm,
show up at this place at the same time and you meet up with each other.
mm,
A soulmate could be your mom and dad, could be your best friend, could be a dog or a cat,
mhm.
because a soul is a soul. It's not necessarily someone you're gonna fall in love with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I had a girl tell me one time, she said, "I met my soulmate, Daniel." I said, "Really?" She said, "Oh, yeah, with everything's so wonderful." And then she would come on the show every now and then. About 2 years later, I said, "Hey, how's that soulmate doing?" She said, "Oh, that piece of crap, he cheated on me." I said, Soulmates don't do that. That's not
Yeah,
a soulmate.
yeah.
You just believe in that because that's what TV and movies want you to believe in, or the society wants you to believe in, but
Mhm,
it's just not that way.
mm,
There's so many lies and misconceptions within this business, again, that it's just
yeah, yeah,
horrible.
yeah, yeah, it is. Let's talk a little bit about what we call the other side. What is your intake, your take on it?
Oh, it's 100,000 times better than you can ever imagine it is. They show it to me all the time.
Mm,
Again, I have a different I don't just I see people, I see dogs, I see cats, I see horses, cows, fish. I see other beings from other places. I see heaven, and I see what we people don't there's no such thing as hell, there's no such place as purgatory. There is just a lower realm, a lower energy realm. When
mm,
I see someone who has crossed over, they look just like you and I do, except they're just a little bit transparent, whereas the ones who have not crossed over are very transparent because there's a low energy there,
mm,
and they can cross over anytime that they want to. They just don't realize they can. It's just the reason that they didn't cross over is many reasons. Maybe someone told them that they were a horrible person, or they felt like they were a horrible person, or when you step out of your body, you're going to get all the perfect memories of your lifetime here, plus the other 27 memories of
mhm,
all your lifetimes, all those lifetimes of memories. And when you see that light, when it's your time to go, you may think to yourself, I've been here 28 times. I've had very hard lives. I mean, not every lifetime have you been there has there been cars and computers. So you know what life has been like. And
mhm,
you know, once you look in that light, there's a possibility you may have to come back again.
mhm,
And maybe you don't want to. And
mm,
a lot of them don't go because they don't want to, because they've been here so many times.
yeah,
But it's not until you go into that light where you find out if you fulfilled your purpose and you get to stay home. Or
mm,
you ask me and I find out for you.
okay, okay.
But heaven is indescribable. I see them walking around when new people come in and they're hugging each other, saying hello, how are you? I can hear them, but it's not vocally.
Yeah,
I don't see just regular people. I see all kinds of people who look what we would call like a cartoon. I see
mm,
everything. I see other beings. I see everything.
mhm,
And it's unimaginable. I saw they showed it to me one time where they put me like I was in a building, like looking out of a window because I'm not supposed to be there yet. So
mhm,
I'm a spectator. And I saw a woman and a child walk by, and she was wearing a big Elizabethan type dress, and he had like a little pantsuit on.
yeah,
And they were just walking down the sidewalk holding hands, just
mm,
enjoying life. It's
wow,
just a place where you don't have to pay bills. You're not struggling. There's no struggling whatsoever. There's no pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish. It's all positivity. It's all love. And
mhm,
it's hard for people here to imagine like that. They can think about it, but you can't imagine that because we live here.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Um, yeah.
If you remain earthbound, you're
Oh,
remaining and you're still holding on to your pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, and anguish. What people don't know is when in that lower energy realm, if another spirit were to walk up to you and smack you in the face, you still feel it.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk about earthbound spirits. Obviously, I've heard many different outlooks on it. From Hollywood, making it terrifying. That's why I still have fear. That's why I grew up hearing and seeing. What are your thoughts on earthbound spirits and how did they go back home?
They go back home because if they want to,
Mm,
because there's a light that shines all the time. This is the light into heaven, and it shines in the background. They can see it. They can see it, but not only can they see it, they can hear it. And what I mean by that is, like, this is another thing that people just don't know.
mhm,
They can hear it because it is an actual soul that is in this world. To be in this physical place, it has to be a light, a physical light. And that physical, non-physical light is a soul within a body that is here. So
mhm,
they can see that light all the time. Because when spirits see us, when they see you, they see your body frame, but they see a light inside of you. This one, it's pure light. So they don't actually see the body, they just see light. And
Mhm.
then when you and I are speaking, everyone else is speaking in this world, the other 7.5 billion of us, it becomes like static after a while. And they can tune that out. Again, even though they are in that lower energy realm, they are still pure energy. They can tune anything out. They can make themselves look like they want to look like.
Oh, wow.
So they can see that and they can hear that, but everyone else, they can tune that out.
Mhm.
This soul has been here since the beginning.
Wow.
And how do I know this? Because it's me.
Mm. Yeah,
That's how I know it.
yeah, that's fascinating.
So I cross spirit over into the light every day, all day. Sometimes I have to do it physically. Sometimes I don't. They just go in.
Mhm.
I've been around too many people already who have been around me who
Mhm.
have seen flashes of light go off around me. In other words, that's someone in crossing over.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've done it where I will be in my bedroom and I blacken the room out so I can see everything because I can see things in the light too.
Mhm.
Just I can see them more clearly in the darkness. I mean, even if I look into a dark computer screen or a dark TV, I see spirit walking around. And if I close my eyes, I see spirit walking around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it never turns off. Why? Because I'm the light. Because I am the veil between the one side or the other.
Mhm.
So they cross over, and but what I do is I'll see them. It's always like I'm standing on a balcony. I'm looking down, and I can see everyone. And
Mm.
then I just tell them, "Does anyone want to cross over?" And it's neat to see when you see thousands of people do this
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
look up. And then I tell them where to go and what to do and how to get there. But it's all by the one thing we all have anyway, which is free
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
You either choose to go or not. But
Mhm.
not everything there is good.
Mm.
I see lots of horrible things. I
Mhm.
saw these beings about 6 months ago. If you've ever seen a TV show where someone gets murdered and they do an outline of a person on the ground, I saw these beings that look like that, like an outline, except they had these squiggly red lines going through them, and they glow red. Whenever I see something glow red, that's a negative energy. Everyone else there is blue. They're
Yeah.
just their pigmentation is blue. I can still see their everything about them, but
Yeah.
they're blue. And when I see these red ones, I know they're negative. And I saw these things, couldn't see their face because they had no face. And I saw them walking around because you're in this low energy place. You chose to be there,
Mhm.
and they still hold on to all those negative feelings. I saw them walking around, grabbing people and beating the crap out of them,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
and they would drag them off somewhere. Now I know there's no such place as hell. There's no such place as purgatory. Besides, the people who are telling you that have never been there.
Mhm.
How would they know?
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I see that, I just there's nothing I can do at that point because they chose to be where they are.
Mm.
Now, whenever I do see spirit, I always ask them because they stare at me all the time because all they see is light. And when I see that, I'll talk to them, and then they look at me like strange. But I say, "Yeah, there's a voice coming from this light. Would you like to cross over? Do you want to go home?"
Mhm.
It's not about asking forgiveness from God. You don't need to do that because we are not sinners.
Mhm.
No one sins in this world. Everyone's born a divine soul. You're born a beautiful white light soul within a body.
Yeah.
That's it. So everyone is perfect.
Yeah.
We just live in a world that has rules and laws by
Mhm.
people who want to tell us how to live our lives the way they want us to live it and give them 10%.
Yeah.
How did they know about 10% back then?
Mhm.
Because the people who wrote that book were kings and queens. That's how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Power and control. So, but yes, I see them all the time. I see other people or even animals walking around there because when you wake up out of your body, when you have just keeled over dead, you don't always know that you have died. And to wake up out of your body free of all the pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, and anguish, and you wake up out of that, but you are still you. I see horses and cows walking around grazing because that's what they did.
Mhm.
Because you do what you normally do, but it's just different now. You know it. You're aware of it's different, but you're not always aware that you have passed away. It
Mhm.
just feels different to you.
Mhm.
And we all see a light. Everyone gets a personal light for them.
Mhm.
But if you make a decision that you think to yourself, I don't want to go in there, that light turns off. And
Mm.
then you will see that light in the background, and that's where to go.
Mhm.
But they don't always want to go. I've seen some very horrible things that I have talked to. I've told them why I'm there. And I don't want to hear it. They call me by my first name because they know, because the way that they communicate with each other, they read our minds, but they're
Mhm.
not really reading your mind. They're just reading your soul, because the brain doesn't do anything except make the little parts work. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold memory.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of baloney. It
Yeah.
is all within your soul. And how would I know that? The reason I know that is when you want to contact your mom and dad, or say your grandfather, you knew it was your grandfather, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, your grandfather's in spirit, correct?
Yeah.
Well, your grandfather no longer has an actual brain. So how would you know it's actually him?
I don't
If
know.
Right, because it's within the soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
No.
proof.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
That's the proof of God. You
Yeah.
don't need the brain.
Mm. Yeah.
The soul that's within you right now doesn't even look like you. It looks like you the last time you were here. So that's why I tell people, don't mess with 23andMe and Ancestry.com, because the person you're looking up from 100 years ago that looks similar to you see the picture and says, wow, that looks like me,
Mhm.
because it was you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been here 28 times. You're from all you People want to go, oh, well, if I have ancestors back in England or Ireland or Africa, I'm now Irish, or I'm now English, or I'm now African. No, you're from the entire world. You're just one thing that we all are.
Mhm.
You're human.
Mhm. Yeah. 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 I've been doing quite a bit of past life regressions.
Don't
Um,
bother with it.
don't.
No, because
I,
if your past life was so important,
yeah.
you would have got your purpose fulfilled and you
Mm.
wouldn't be here right now.
Mhm.
What's important is what you do right now, not what you did 100 years ago.
Mhm.
Because 100 years ago, just even right now, say if someone come up to you and you were going to apply for a job and you gave them all your this is my credentials. And
Mhm.
then they look at you and they say, well, Bernadette, this is great, but we got some other information about you when you were 7. And you go, but I'm not 7 anymore. And you go, yeah, but we saw this and you were playing with some kids and you picked up a stick and you poked somebody. And
Mhm.
we can't have violence here at our job. So we're not going to have you here. But you say to them, but
Mhm.
I was 7. I'm not 7 anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't want you to evaluate me or judge me by what I used to do, 15, 20 years ago. I'm not that person anymore. I have grown from that. I don't make the same decisions anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
that information,
Mhm.
whatever you did 100 years ago, you were doing in that time
Mm.
with the situation that was going on from 100 years ago.
Mhm.
That is not who you are now. So
Mm.
why bother with something? People do that because they want to have a story to talk about. Oh, well, I was related to a king or a queen. And I always tell them, oh, so you're related to someone who used to stand on the backs of other people.
Mm.
Why
Mhm.
would you want to be related to that?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I.
You may have been related to it,
Yeah.
but how is that noble? How is that
Yeah.
profound? It's not.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
again, whatever you did back then in those lives, if
Yeah.
those lives were so important, you would have fulfilled your purpose. You would have finished your lessons. You would have got your golden ticket to go home and
Mhm.
stay home.
Mhm.
But you didn't. So what do you have in common with the other 7.5 billion people on the face of this earth?
Mhm.
They all went to heaven. They all had to come back,
Yeah.
just like you. So what does that make us? All
Mm.
equal.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff's just
Yeah. Yeah. It
you
feels
need to
like a knowing. Um, I don't know if I should call it past life, or it just feel like a knowing because
a knowing that you have within your soul,
yeah.
because your soul has been here so many times.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
see
28 is
myself
not bad. So
drowning. Yeah.
28 isn't bad. When I do readings for people, it's between 26 and 29 times. I
Ugh.
will tell you, I did a reading for a woman one time. She had been here 43 times. She is totally screwing it up. Totally.
Wow.
And I told her at that point, she asked me, "Do I have time to fulfill my purpose?" And I said, "No." I told her, I said, "You have run out of time.
Mm.
Now, if I told you you've run out of time, what would that mean to you?"
Um, it depends on the context of time because
All
my
right. Well,
soul
I'll tell you
doesn't
what it
need
meant to
time.
her. I
Yeah.
told her she was running out of time because she was going to die soon. And she did 6 months later.
Oh.
I also told her she's going to I already told her at that point she has to come back again and do this all over again. She said, "I don't want to." I said, "Well, then do the correct things."
Mm.
She was the type of person where she went to the same doctor that I do because I have diabetes and so does she.
Mhm.
But she walked into my house with a walker and she
Yeah.
could barely see me and barely hear me. And she was unfortunately very overweight.
Mm.
And when I told her, I said, "Oh," I said, "when you go to the doctor, you don't make out very well because he tells you things that makes you cry." And she said, "Yes, it
Yeah.
does."
Yeah.
"How'd you know that?" I said, "You're talking to the freaking medium. Come on." I said, "So, I said, this upsets you quite a bit." I said, "The reason being is because you don't follow what he tells you to do. He's trying to he can no longer there's no saving of quantity of your life. When it's your time to go, it just is, but we can do something about our quality." I said, "And you don't do that.
Mhm.
You don't like to hear what he says
Mhm.
because he's trying to keep you healthy because you wanna continue to eat your cookies, cakes, and ice cream." She said, "Yeah." I said, "As a diabetic, you can't do that. That's why, you know,
Yeah.
you don't pay attention, you don't listen, you don't follow through, you
Mhm.
don't do what's right for you,
Yeah.
and that's why you are in the state you are, not because what the doctor tells you, because you have used your free will
Mm.
too much about you."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm. Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
not here to do that.
That's fair. Yeah. Um, I think it was my adoptive mom who was trying to show me the other side. She was saying, "Bernadette, come with me," and then I went like this. um, I was terrified. I still am sometimes, and I'm trying to work through the fear. But I think she hold my hand. She was trying to grab me. Can you confirm if that was her showing me?
Correct. But what she was trying to do is she wants you to do what is necessary for you to do to that when you do go home, to stay home.
Oh,
There's a difference. See, there's you have to
mm,
what they want you to do is stay on the correct path so that you will come home and stay home.
mm.
That's what she means by that,
Oh, okay, okay. I don't
because
know
she
what the
doesn't have to
correct
come
path
back
is.
anymore.
Sorry, go ahead.
She doesn't have to come back anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel that I know her more where she is than when she was here.
Right, because where she's at now, there's no pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, and anguish. So she has none of that blocking her anymore. So the true self of herself can come through to
Mm,
you
hmm.
because you have this ability.
Yeah, and I felt her touching my feet.
Sure.
It's
They're
weird. I don't know how
they're
to describe it.
they're pure energy. I don't know how else to describe it to you right now, but even as I'm talking to you, I'm feeling touches on my face, on
From
different spots on my face
from who?
from archangels.
Oh,
It feels like a finger going across my face, but
oh,
but not in the same spot all the time. It's different spots.
oh.
I've been che I have been checked because 'cause I'm diabetic for feeling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that
Oh, okay, okay.
because it's consistent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also my bio father. Um, I don't know. He
Whoever raises you are your
yeah.
parents because your parents or whoever your mom and dad, whoever created the body are just people. They don't create the soul. The
Mm,
soul was created a long time ago by
mm-hmm.
God or higher power, our Father.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever, whoever, someone else can create the body, but if someone else raises you, that's who your parents are.
Mm,
We
mhm.
get we get too focused on body stuff. The body is only here to help the soul get around. The soul is the passenger, the body is the car. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We focus too much on the car.
Yeah, 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 you're right. Um, can you tell me what my grandfather wants?
Your grandfather's here because he's a spirit guide for you. You know how often that happens? It
I don't.
doesn't.
Oh.
So in other words, he's here to be a spirit guide for you, to guide you through your life again, to keep you on your correct path.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can do is, because it is your grandfather, like any other spirit guide, you can talk to him and ask him questions. If there's something that your grandfather and you know about your grandfather, or he knows, or he can project out to you as a sign,
Mm.
you can ask him questions. Say if you wanted to buy a red car and you said, "Grandpa, I want to buy this car. Should I buy it?" Well, he knows what car it is because he's with you all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you would ask him that question, and then he would show you the sign. But in a way, showing you a sign is not just you seeing it. You might hear it. You might read it in a book. You might see it on TV. Something pops up out of, say if it was a dragonfly, you saw a dragonfly, and then you picked up a newspaper and it
Mhm.
said dragonfly in it, or you saw a picture of a dragonfly, or saw it on TV, or something. That's them. What they do is they are now connecting with your soul in
Mm,
order to show you that sign. So they connect to your soul because it's your soul that runs your body. It's like a battery in a radio. If you take the battery out of the radio doesn't turn on. If you take the soul out of the body, it doesn't turn on. The
mm,
soul moves the body on where it needs to go. It's not your brain.
mhm,
So your grandfather is trying to show you a sign. He will connect with your soul to get you to turn around to notice these things.
mhm.
And then when you notice those things, then that's telling you, yes, go buy the red car.
Yeah.
What it's not telling you is, well, buy the red car, but then you say, oh, let me take some of that money and buy some jewelry as well, or something like that.
Yeah.
If you ask a direct question, you'll get a direct answer. But
Yeah.
if you ask one question and think to yourself by using your ego, oh, I'm going to change it and make it a little bit better, you're not making it better. You just
Mhm,
changed an answer that came from a perfect place. How much better can it get? It
mhm.
doesn't.
Yeah.
What you've done at that point is screwed it up.
Yeah, I wanted to show you this. I talked to my friend who's a medium because I was getting frustrated because I can't hear them with my mind or understand them.
You
And
just haven't progressed to that part, that's all.
yeah,
When you let go of the fear, you will.
yeah.
There's
And
nothing to fear.
yeah, she said to paint something to show how they will communicate with me. I have
Yeah,
no, I don't know what this is. There's
the
a,
eye of the center of the soul.
oh, and then,
Those lines that go straight up are your connection.
oh, these ones.
Yes,
Oh, because I have no clue what I was painting. I just painted it.
right?
Interesting. Huh.
You just painted the third eye, but that is not our third eye. That is our original eye. These are the eyes that we use to see here.
Oh,
This is the eye that we use to see everything.
oh wow.
When you are using the third eye, what we call that, but is the original eye, because
Mm,
what will happen is when I'm in meditation, but I don't meditate all the time anymore because I don't have to. I just ask a question, I get an answer.
mm,
So when I'm in meditation, you're not seeing, when I see things, you're not seeing in front of you. You're seeing all around you, but it's only directed in front of you.
mm,
Unless someone walks past you and then it's not like you turned around, you just see it
mhm.
because there's no front and back. There's no up and down.
Yeah.
When you are there, you just are
Mm, mm,
as they are.
yeah, yeah, that's really cool. What are your thoughts on star seeds? I,
Star seeds are someone who had to be brought here because where they were before, they did not learn enough. They did not learn. When you're here learning lessons, you're here to learn certain things, but everything you do, if I pick up this blue towel and I put it down, that's a lesson.
mm,
If I pick it up and drop it, it's not a good lesson or a bad lesson.
mm,
It's just another lesson. So how do I learn that? I learn that by gripping it tighter
mhm,
so that I don't drop it. And the
mm,
more that you learn your lessons and you learn them quickly, you'll get through to fulfilling your purpose. But
mhm.
with a star seed, they just couldn't get it right from the previous place that they were. So they're brought here because Earth is a learning planet,
Mm,
and they are brought here in order to learn more. But
mhm.
the problem is they've been someplace a few times, and when they get here, they feel out of place because this
Yeah,
is not the original
explains
place they
why
came
how
from.
I'm feeling. I don't know if you're able to pick up on how I'm feeling.
Yeah, confused.
Very confused, and it's like I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it will ever go away, but it's very hard.
Well, you've been here, unfortunately, you've been here 28 times.
Yeah.
But when you are when it's like living in a town that you've lived in your entire life, and then all of a sudden you go to another town. You don't know how to get around. You don't know where you're at. You don't know how to navigate your
Mhm.
life. You're, my wife and I moved out here from Delaware, and we came all the way over here to Arizona a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
I knew everywhere to go over there. As soon as we got here, I you could still see a town, but I
Mhm.
didn't know the street names. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where this store was or that store. I had to use GPS for everything.
Mm.
Now I'm more familiar with it by being here, but lifetimes are different
Yeah. Yeah.
because when you originally start out in one other place, you know everything about that place.
Mm.
When you come here, now you're confused. Now you don't know where, you don't feel comfortable. You
Mm.
don't feel like this is your place. And because you are focused on that of I'm not comfortable and this is my place,
Mm.
you don't become comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that that's a hindrance for you. That's a hindrance for you to learn the human experience.
Mhm.
Because before you were here, you weren't human.
Yeah,
You were
I
something
wasn't.
else.
Yeah, I learned what I was. I'm still wrapping my head around it. A dragon.
But this time, look in the mirror. I mean, it did a pretty good job. So
Oh man, because I remember when I was in psychosis, I didn't want to look in the mirror. I was looking at my hands. It didn't feel like my hands.
right,
And
doesn't
that
feel
was
like
way
you.
before I knew anything about spiritual stuff or this stuff. Are you able to look at people and see their true forms?
I can see their true form as being here because I'm meant for this world here.
Okay.
But sometimes I do see other things that
Okay.
I go, "That's not human." And when I see that, I know that they are a star seed originally
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
because it's more prevalent. But
Mm.
again, I see the true form of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see, but then that'll fade out, and then it'll fade into the soul that is within them now. So
Hmm.
yes, I do see that, but I'm here to help them while they're here
Mm-hmm.
and not where they once were.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were brought here because what you did there, you didn't get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about wrong or right or no, there's no mistakes or failures or anything like that. There's only what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kept doing what didn't work for you. So you had to be brought to a place to figure out because again, you're here 28 times, but in the sense of being within spirit, there is no space and time. So
Mm-hmm.
time for us and them is very slow there. 2 or 3 days over there is like 20 or 30 years here for us.
Wow.
So you being somewhere else was probably long, 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 long time ago, or in this sense. But
Mm-hmm.
we are the only one who go by the sense of time as in years because of just how many times we go around the sun. That's it. In another planet, it might be different. They might be longer or shorter years,
Mm-hmm.
depending upon how they're if their planet rotates the sun. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, within space and within the where the realm is of being in spirit. There's no space and time. When
Yeah.
you get there, you just are. You
Mhm.
just be. There's no night and day. You're not waiting for 4:30 to go somewhere.
Mm. Yeah. 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 That's so true. Um, do you also work with the Akashic records?
No,
Why not?
because they're records of the past. They're not important.
Oh.
What's important is what you do now.
Ah. Okay.
People focus on the past.
Mm.
Again, do you want to be judged on something that you did when you were 7? No,
Mm.
it's not who you are anymore.
Mm. Yeah.
Those records are not who you are anymore.
Mhm.
It's a record of you. You might have something like an ailment or something like that, but our ailments also change here with age.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
It's still you, but it's not you. It's not the person you are right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're not important.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the whole chakra thing, not important.
Mm. Mhm.
Your soul does not swallow. It doesn't eat anything. It doesn't talk with this. It does not have a throat chakra.
Mm.
There's no beating heart that has blood pumping through it. You don't have a heart chakra.
Mm.
Again, there's a lot of stuff in this business that is complete and total BS.
Mm.
It just is. They make it up.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
soul is here, the soul is infinite.
Mhm.
Death is not something to be worried about because it's happened for you
Yeah.
27 other times. You know, it's going to happen again. I
Yeah.
don't care what you do, no matter what. We're all going to die.
Yeah.
It's just because my soul has been here so many times, my soul doesn't go home. My soul, that when the body is deteriorating and then is done, another one is automatically born for that soul every time. It just skips a generation
Mhm.
and it just gets out of one soul body and goes into the next one. Before it was in me, it was in my grandfather.
Oh, wow. That's
I
very
remember lots
interesting.
of stuff. But that they're memories. They're past things. They're not always important.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh,
Um,
if
yeah.
you want to see my picture from the past, look at the Last Supper. I'm the third guy to the right.
Yeah.
His name was Peter.
Yeah.
That's me. I was the voice of Jesus.
Yeah.
As is now, I'm the Word of God.
Mhm.
That's why I'm so connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to talk about archangels who are walking in bodies, you're looking at one. I've just been here forever,
Mm.
forever in this time.
Mm.
But this is my last time. I'm going back. This is it
Mm.
because this place is coming to an end.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
It's
world
hard
is.
living here. It's so hard living here.
It is. We
I
have lived at
I
another place.
struggle.
We were on another planet before this one. We destroyed it. You've heard of it. It's called Mars. Look what we did to that place. We're doing the
Oh,
same thing here.
we were in Mars?
Yeah, we have one
Oh,
more shot at this.
oh
this
wow.
is this is our second shot. The end of my book doesn't say the end. It says 2332. That's the end. And
Wow.
then we will leave here and go to another place because the title of my book is The New Beginning. It's not about me,
Mm.
not everyone. It's
Mhm.
about us leaving here and going to another place. 2332. If you take 23 and you add the 2 and 3 together, it makes 5. You take the 32, you add that together, it makes 5. You put it together, it makes 10. You turn it around, what's it make?
Mhm.
0, 1.
Yeah.
The end here is a new beginning somewhere else.
Mm.
We'll
Yeah.
start over again because we've screwed it up again.
Mhm. Mhm.
They just did a study on Mars that they found the ground itself, the sand there has a certain compound in it
Mhm.
that can only be produced from a nuclear explosion.
Wow.
How would that happen if
Who
they keep
knows?
telling us
I
no
don't
one lived there?
know. Yeah. Wow.
They
Yeah.
don't want us to know these things.
Yeah.
They don't want us to know how far back our history goes. Now
Mm.
they're coming out with the hearings for the UFO stuff today.
Mm.
Where do you think we come from? Why do you think they come here and visit? They've been coming here for thousands of years. There's pictures from thousands of years ago, even back in Egyptian times. You see UFOs up in the sky in the pictures. Why is that?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
we didn't come from Adam and Eve or Adam and Steve, whatever
Mm.
you prefer. We came from them. They brought us here.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Like I said, you've been here 28 times, and that sounds like a long time, but
Yeah.
not really. I
Yeah.
mean, it is. You come here, if you die over the age of 30 years old, the next time you would come back would be 80 years after that. If
Wow.
you die under the age of 30 years old, you come back 8 years, all for the same reason, though,
Yeah.
also that you won't be recognized.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But you come back here so many times that you've just been here within,
Mhm. Mm.
thousands of years of time. But that's time to us. Where
Yeah.
you come from, there is no time.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's all. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're just experiencing, again, you're not from here originally. You've been here 28 times, but that doesn't mean you're only you're a couple thousand years old from being here.
Mm.
You're from somewhere else, so you're in and out.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I was alive in the 1800s.
Oh, absolutely.
I was a slave. I had a lover who was white, I think from Britain or something. I don't know. I'm getting different glimpses of stuff over the past years, months. I don't know what they are. Yeah.
This happens.
Mhm. Mhm.
And like everything else, it just happens. That's all part of us learning lessons. It's all about learning that we're not doing things the way we should be doing or could be doing.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
treat each other with disrespect,
Mm.
even though no one here is a well, I mean, it still may be in some countries, but and we have right now we have a lot of things going on with human trafficking. That is slavery as well.
Mm.
Uh, but so what does that come down to? We still haven't learned how to treat each other well.
Mm.
We're not doing a very good job,
Mm.
which is all part of, you know, why we're not going to be here in about 310 years. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're destroying this place as well.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know what lessons that I would need to learn to keep coming back because it's so painful to be here.
Oh, that's again has to do with you fulfilling the purpose. You come back because we fulfill the purpose throughout our lives, but you just haven't done it enough. So in other words, a purpose is someone who walks up to you in the middle of the street and says, Excuse me, miss, I'm lost. Can you help me find my way?"
Mm.
You're going to help them, or you say, I hate people, I ain't helping you. Because people do that. But you could also help them in a way that's going to be you're doing something for them that they cannot do for themselves. Then
Mhm.
there's a couple of different kinds of help. Again, you're helping those who cannot help themselves, or you're helping those to learn to help themselves.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
It's pretty much it. And you're going to do that. It's going to be what we would call random times, but it's not random. It happens every time when it's meant to. But in order for you get to those places that it's going to happen, you will have to go through your lessons quickly. Lessons like in this manner, if you walk through a door and there's a nail in the floor and you trip over the nail, how do you learn that lesson? Well, you go get a hammer and bang it back in. Not everybody does that. People trip over that nail lots of times before they figure out this is not working for me. They
Mhm.
go through things that don't work for them all the time. I had a woman tell me one time, "Oh, Daniel, I met this man. I thought he was really nice, and he turned out to be horrible." And then the next one, same thing, horrible. Three of them, they were horrible. And I said, "What was the commonality between the three?" And she said,
Mhm.
"Well, I didn't think of that. They all had brown hair and blue eyes." I said, "Do you know what you do next?" She said, "What?" I said, "Go out with somebody with blonde hair."
Mm.
Because because she was trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. It doesn't work that way.
Mhm.
If it doesn't work 1 or 2 times, try something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you don't learn your lessons, meaning try something different and then finally have it work out for you,
Mhm.
then it's not gonna get you to where you actually need to be. to meet up with those people
Mhm.
who you're going to help. If you wake up in the morning and your gut instinct, your gut feeling, which is your people call it intuition, it's your soul connecting with you.
Mhm.
when you get when you hear a certain song and that you get those little goosebumps and oh that's goosebumps that's no that's your soul coming through. Your soul is very connected to you. We're just not very connected to it. And when you get these feelings inside of you that says to do something, go do it.
Mhm.
Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't use your ego that the world taught you to do, because what they've taught you to do is not have any trust or any faith within yourself.
Mhm.
When you get these ideas that you say, "Oh, I got an idea to go somewhere," that's not actually all you. That's your spirit guides. That these are decisions that are being you're helped with coming from a perfect place, and you talked yourself out of it. So
Mhm.
you talked yourself out of something that just came from a perfect place. Why would you do that? Because the
Mhm.
world taught you to do that. So it's not your fault. It's just this is all we've been taught. But when you get those gut feelings, follow through with them. Listen to them, trust them, and follow through with them. But people
Mhm.
don't. They talk themselves out of it. It's just like if you're driving a car and you see a car in front of you and you say, I want to pass that car. But then you get the gut feeling says, don't pass the car. Well,
Mhm.
then don't pass the car. But people, oh, I'll take a chance anyway. And then this is how you know they don't listen because you're in the hospital talking to your friend who got into a car accident, and they
Mhm.
tell you 3 words that tell you that their soul talked to them. They said, "You know, Bernadette, I saw that car in front of me, but I just knew." When they say "I just knew," that means their soul was talking to them, but
Mhm.
they didn't listen.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
just can't, they need to learn to listen. They need to
Mhm.
learn to trust, and they need to learn to follow through.
Yeah.
When I'm when I'm driving in my I drive a motorcycle, and when I'm on my motorcycle, I see my guides in front of me all the time. It looks like if you ever seen somebody smoking a cigarette, little petals come off the
Yeah.
cigarette, little. I see that around me all the time. This is them in the daytime.
Mhm.
And I'll be riding my bike and I'll say, I need to take this right hand turn. No, no. Okay. Well, you want me to take the next one? Yes. Okay. So that's what I do. You know what was going to happen at the other one? I don't care.
Mhm.
I don't contemplate it. I don't wonder what would have been, could have been, should have been. I
Mhm.
do what they show me to do. I do what they ask me to do. And because I do that, ever since doing that, they told me I would never get into another car accident again, and I haven't.
Wow.
So I listen.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to listen,
Mhm.
but they
Mhm.
just don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
Change that, and things will happen better for you. It'll happen for you that you're on the correct path. You'll see what we call the angel numbers. You walk around and you see the 1111s and the 2222 or something. What is that telling you? That's telling you you're on the correct path.
Mm.
You're in the right place. If you
Yeah.
stop seeing those things, you're not doing very good.
Yeah.
They bring us signs all
Yeah.
the time. We
I
just don't
see
pay
lots of
attention.
feathers.
Sure.
Yeah, feathers, birds. When I was
It's something that
painting
they can
this,
equate to you.
yeah, when I was painting that painting, I opened my balcony. I saw a bunch of little birds. It was very unusual
That is
to
unusual.
see that many.
Yeah, that's cool though. But what does that mean? When you see things unusual like that, they're letting you know
Yeah, yeah. And
you're in
my
the right
lights, they
way.
go crazy. My
Yeah.
lights in the house.
Well, they spirit is impure energy. They can manipulate
Yeah,
energy because everything is energy.
yeah. Well, I talked to them. I said, if you guys
Good.
put out my lights, you're gonna replace it.
Right. Good. As
Yeah.
long as you're talking to them, when you recognize the fact that they are actually here, then they will put out other signs for you as well so
Mhm.
that you know. But people just, heaven is not 3,000 miles in the sky. It's right next to us. We just can't always see it, but they can see us. And
Mm,
if they see that we need help, they'll bring it to us. But as well as that lower energy place, we
mhm.
have them talking to us too.
Yeah, yeah.
They can whisper in your ear and tell you to go out and kill someone, but you have the ability to say no. You can say, no, I don't want to do that. Go
Mhm.
away.
Yeah, yeah.
But people don't. Some people will just wake up and go out and shoot somebody
Mhm, mhm.
because
Yeah.
they don't have no respect for anybody else, no respect or regard for life.
Mhm. Yeah.
We taught them that.
mm, mhm. Yeah. Um, this is such an amazing conversation. I'm enjoying learning and hearing so much.
Oh, good.
Is there anything you'd like to share that we haven't touched on before I wrap up?
Um, like promote myself or something like that, or I'll tell you one thing I always tell people is I always tell people, don't ever judge anyone else. When you see someone who's about to come up in front of you and
Mm-hmm.
they look maybe a little disheveled or something like that, before you say anything to them, think
Mm-hmm.
about yourself, think about all the things that you've been through, all the crap you've been through in your entire life, and then think that that person has probably gone through something themselves because everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bite your tongue and then you walk away because you don't have the right to do it.
Mm-hmm.
When if you feel you have the right to do it, it's because you're a piece of crap. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
And on that's not judgment. You just are. People choose to be horrible to each other.
Mm-hmm.
People choose to be mean to each other. Just in the same way that if I was best friends with someone and they were an alcoholic, I would say to them, I will take you to meetings, I'll take you to AA, I'll keep you away from drugs and alcohol and the bars and all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
until they choose to stop drinking, no matter what I say or do, isn't going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is our choice in our life. We just have to make better choices.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't need to be horrible to each other, but people who feel they need to have power and control over others do.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get rid of those people.
Mm-hmm.
We need to tell them and sit them down and say, you know what, get rid of this because it's not helping anybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
here to help each other. We're not here to destroy each other because we all live on the same planet. No one's going anywhere anytime soon, so we better start to get along with each other before we annihilate each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to check out your book. I can see that it's available on Amazon.
Yes, it is available on Amazon. If you go to Amazon and you punch in the search bar, Daniel Jackson, The New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium, you'll see this picture come up.
Mm-hmm.
And that one behind me of a man walking into a white light,
Mm-hmm.
me. And it's a pretty quick read. It's only 137 pages. It's
Okay.
basically a story about how everything happened to me and for me. But at the very end, it's those channeled messages. When I submitted the book to the author, I mean to the editor,
Mhm.
gave her everything. She sent back the 25 messages and said these don't need to be edited.
Oh, wow.
I said, "Because it didn't come from me, it come from a perfect place." I did an author's read of my book, a couple of months ago, and the woman who was doing this author's event, teaches here at the local college, teaches writing, and she told the crowd because I gave her the book, she said that, when I read the book, she said it was like 2 different people wrote that book.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's available on, Amazon. I sell it for $8. Um, because I'm not trying to make $1,000,000. I'm just trying to help 1,000,000 people.
Yeah.
So you can get it for $8 or you can get it for like $6.46 as an ebook if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple. Um, I also have a podcast called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do interviews as well with other people within this same type of setting. Um, and you can find that at www.beyond-the-veil.com.
Mm-hmm.
And not only I have our own show, but I have something in the heading there. It says guest appearances, and that's when I do guest appearances like this. I will when I get the link for it, I put it up on our website so that people can do one of two things. One, they can listen to me talk in an interview, and two, I do it so they can find another show that they can listen to
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
we're all here to help each other. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. That's really
And
cool.
then I'm on Facebook too. I have a group on there called Spirit Medium Daniel Group,
Mm-hmm.
and people can join that as well. But you can try to join whenever I do my podcast or when people who are going to be in this group
Mm-hmm.
before they get in, I check to see if that person
Mm-hmm.
is a good person. So what I do is I ask questions and I say to them, does this person have good intentions? Are they going to be good for the group? And if I get a no, decline.
Mhm.
If I
Yeah.
get a yes, I'll let them in. Same thing with my podcast. If they're I will ask, "Is this person going to be a good person for my show?" And if I get a no, I don't have them on.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That's really
So,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
What,
everywhere.
yeah. What did they tell you about me?
I know something more, but I know you have to get over this fear. In order for you to get there,
Yeah.
you have to let go of fear.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be afraid of because like I said, you're meant for something more.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
meant for you're not meant to be just like one of these regular, you know, mediums, not one of these circus sideshow things. You're not meant to be like a Teresa Trudeau, whatever her name is, and
Yeah.
you know, no, that's that's bullshit. That's what that is. You're not meant for that. You're
Yeah.
meant to help large masses of people. But
Mhm.
in order for you to get there, you have to let go of fear. And until you do that, it's going to be hard for you to progress to that point
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've
because
started.
yeah, you would have different spirit guides. You wouldn't just have your grandfather would still be here helping you with daily things, but
Mhm.
you would have different spirit guides
Yeah.
that are not just regular spirit guides.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have archangels. You
Mhm.
know how many of us have archangels with us? They don't. All
Mhm.
these other famous mediums out there, they don't. I
Mhm.
don't I have regular spirit talk to me all the time. I keep my phone next to my bed because they just say things to me and I put it down because people want to know what they have to say. But
Mhm.
that's not who I get my answers from. I get them from archangels.
Mhm.
I bring people come to me because they want an answer from God. I get the answer, but sometimes they have a an issue with the answers because
Mhm.
it's the truth, and not everybody likes the truth. Not everybody, they only want to hear what they want to hear, and not what they need to hear. When I do a reading with people, I always tell them I will give you the reading that you need, not necessarily the one that you want.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
going to get the answers that you need.
Mhm.
That's what you will do
Mhm. Thank
because I give people peace of mind and clarity, but I also give them answers that give them direction in
you.
their lives,
Mhm.
to bypass all the other crap in this world so that they can go home with their golden ticket and go home and have to stay home and
Yeah.
not have to come back here and do this all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And out of all of the people I do that for, maybe 10% of them actually listen and do that
Mhm.
because they use their free will.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
anybody can.
Yeah.
They just have to want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
Well,
could be
well,
different.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Daniel, for being on the podcast,
Thank you
for
for having
sharing.
me.
This was an amazing conversation. I'm looking forward to checking out your book on Amazon and getting a copy.
Pretty good. It's
Mhm.
pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As I tell everyone, be good and don't do any stupid stuff.
I'm going to be good.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Yeah. Thank you so much.